Thank you very much, Lori. So, do you find yourself worrying about the things that aren't going well in your life? Worrying about your shortcomings, your failures, the things that just plain aren't meeting up to your standards? And do you think that it might put you in a better position to think about your successes, your talents, the things that energize, excite, and engage you? Well, I'm here to tell you this morning that you need to forget about your weaknesses and focus on your strengths to really have the most successful professional and personal life that is possible. And as Lori said, she said I'm a doctor. I have a Ph.D. in clinical psychology, and I spent the first 20 years of my career almost entirely focused on what was wrong with people. So I could tell you your pathology, I could tell you your diagnosis, I could tell you your symptom, I could tell you your problem, and I was working as a clinical psychologist, and my specialty, in fact, was assessment. So I came up with questions and interviews to really fine-tune on what was wrong with people. And don't get me wrong, I helped a lot of people by doing that, because you need to figure out what's wrong with people to figure out the right kind of treatment for them in mental health. It makes sense. But it really felt like there was a different way. There might be a better way to help people reach their goals. And I started, I went back for training as a professional coach about 8 years ago and was introduced to the field of positive psychology. And the only thing I had learned about positive psychology in graduate school was that we were positive you had some kind of diagnosis or disorder. And we were pretty positive we could help you if we could figure out what that disorder was. Okay? Positive psychology was something very new to me. And it really is all about how to understand your positive emotions and your strengths and how that can help you affect change in your life. So it's really drawn to this model, really a 180-degree shift on how to look at things. And so I've been pursuing coaching and executive coaching, these strengths-based approaches to change for the last number of years. I'm working on a book and I'm rebranding to Stronger Leader. StrongerLeader.com will be live probably next month. And my focus is really going to be more on workshops and leadership development focused on helping people identify their strengths and leveraging them to achieve their goals. So today I'm going to talk to you briefly about what are strengths, why is it important to use them, and how can you be more focused on your strengths to get to that next level. So what are strengths? Strengths are not only the things that you're good at. I mean, certainly we have talents in tech and in branding and in massage and all different kinds of things. We have talents, but you can have a talent, but it needs to also energize, excite, and engage you. So strengths is that intersect, it's that sweet spot between what you do well and what you absolutely love to do. So I was really good at diagnosing people, right? I was really good at that and making these really tedious questionnaires. Oh my God, so tedious, let me tell you. I was really good at that level of tedium. It was sucking me dry. It was completely depleting me of all of my joy. So that's really not my strength. Yeah, it's a talent, it's a skill, but not my strength. When I connect with people and help them understand what brings out the best in them, that excites me. When I get in front of a group of people and help them understand what their strengths and talents are, that excites me. Those are my strengths. So think for yourself, what are the things that not only you do well, but that you absolutely love to do? Those are your strengths. So why don't we use our strengths more often? Why not?
We're afraid.
Afraid to use our strengths, okay? Don't know what they are, yeah?
Forget to.
You forget to. Yeah, because we're not used to it. Because using your strengths, it actually is kind of hard. Because we are pre-programmed, and Elliot will be able to tell you this, our brains are programmed to look at the negatives. There is a ton of research out there, psychological studies, that show that we have this negativity bias. That if we are to interpret an event like this happened in this person, so somebody succeeded in something, we tend to look at what the negative is more, especially if we're thinking about what our own contribution was. We tend to attribute more negative than positive. So it takes a lot of practice and a lot of effort. So awareness of your strengths is really key. So how do you become more aware of your strengths? There are a number of assessments. Now, I was all into the tedium, and I'm still a psychologist, so I like assessments. Not like I don't like them, I've discarded all of them. I do like assessments, like your assessment. You've come up with a great assessment. It gives you a lot of objective information, a good assessment. So there are some great assessment tools to focus on your strengths. One of them that I use frequently with my clients is called the StrengthsFinder 2.0. That was developed by the Gallup organization in conjunction with a number of large institutions where they did assessments of executives at all these corporate environments, tens of thousands of assessments, came up with 34 signature strengths that you might use in the work that you do. So that's a great tool, the StrengthsFinder 2.0. It's a book. Does anybody ever take the StrengthsFinder? Mm-hmm. Okay, comes up with your top 5 signature strengths. And there's an excellent book that goes with that tells you who you work best with, what challenges might come up if you're working with somebody with different strengths, and what are some of the pros and cons of your strengths. Woo-hoo! Woo! So there's a StrengthsFinder. There's also a website called AuthenticHappiness.com. That comes from the University of Pennsylvania, where they have developed a master's and a PhD program, all focused on positive psychology. So there's an assessment there called the Values in Action Scale. That's more focused on values than strengths, but they're very related. What's important to you? What do you love to do? What are you good at? When you start working in those areas, that's really when you can thrive and do your best. And then another way is very simple. Just kind of go through your day noticing what do you love to do and what do you don't like to do so much. So if you even take a piece of paper and carry it around with you for a week. And again, going back to the awareness, as you're going through your day, what is really exciting you? What are you totally engaged in? And when you're engaged in something, you lose track of time. You're totally into it. Has anybody ever gotten into that, like a state of flow? It's called flow, because you're in this zone. You're in this zone piece where it's very gratifying. Lose track of time. That's when you're using your strengths. So in this spirit of spring and rebirth and an emphasis on focusing more on what you do well, I am offering 10 opportunities for people to take the StrengthsFinder 2.0, which I pay for and get you the code, not the book, but the code for the online assessment. Take the assessment, and then I'm offering a 1-hour consultation where we will look at your 5 signature strengths, talk about how you're using them in the current work you're doing, and how you can use them more to even increase your productivity, success, and engagement in your work. And at the end of that 1 hour, come up with 3 action steps to use your strengths more in the work that you do. And I'm offering that to 10 people for this little spring special through the end of April for $100. So usually my professional development evaluations range from $250 to $500. But in the spirit of spring and rebirth, this is my offer to you. And then the other thing I wanted to do was also offer you all the opportunity to get a Strengths and Goals worksheet that I developed. Some of you might have already downloaded it from my website, but you can fill out this form, and I can send you a complimentary copy of the Strengths and Goals worksheet that I've developed. Also, there's an option to sign you up for my monthly-ish newsletter. It used to be weekly-ish, but I've become more realistic. And then if you wanted to talk to me about any workshops or speaking engagements, That's the kind of work that I've been doing more and more. Your name and your email. And if you're interested in the Strengths Finder assessment, just make a note and I'll contact you. So any questions?